Hello, guys. Welcome back to SportsKhabri. I'm Rishi. I've got Adi with us today. And today we're going to talk about not about what is happening or what happened in the past. We are trying to look at what our cricketing board, the BCCI, could do to improve the sport, to improve cricket at any level, whatever it is. That basically what we think the board could do to improve cricket in our country, and not just our country, if it can reach other countries globally as well. That because like recently reports have been coming out how much BCCI, which is traditionally a non-profit organization, a charitable trust, is earning, and it was mind-boggling. To put things into context, BCCI earns or generates a revenue of almost 19,000 crores. And you might say that, okay, we are generating a lot. Of course, we have the IPL, we have all kinds of sponsors, so it only makes sense. Cricket is a high paying sport right now in today's world. But to put things into context, the second highest, Cricket Australia, their net revenue is 700 crores compared to the 19,000 crores. And below that, it comes England, English Cricket Board, England and Wales Cricket Board, which is almost 500 crores. So that is the staggeringly high amount, or staggeringly high amount of difference, point of difference, that the BCCI has. So if needed, BCCI can pretty much buy every single other like every single cricketing board. That's how rich they are. So of course, any change that they want, any change that they feel can be done, can necessarily be done. So that is why we are here today to discuss what immediately, like, it can be immediate, it can be for the long term, but what are the like changes that are staring at us right in our faces that we feel can address or improve cricket drastically. So right off the bat, Adi, what do you feel your first suggestion would be that we can right away do that is going to sure shot improve cricket, like just like this?
Bro, I will talk through a fan's perspective.
Yeah,
And
of course.
when I'm talking from a fan's perspective, I'm talking more of a viewer. Like when we are watching cricket, I think for me, the biggest change or like the biggest uh, quality difference between, watching a game, let's say an IPL game, India game, or even something like a game, like a domestic game, for example, versus the quality I see when India go tour England, India go
Mm-hmm.
tour Australia, uh, even for example the World Test Championship final which happened last week. When I was watching, let's say the test game, the finals, the viewing experience was miles ahead compared to the viewing experience of me as a fan of, like, let's say recently we watched the IPL, and fresh off that, coming and watching the WTC, bro, I think I was telling you guys also, the immense difference in the way it's broadcasted to the viewers. For me, there's a huge gap in terms of quality. And I think when we talk about BCCI being one of the richest, I mean, not one, we are the richest boards in cricket, and we're one of the richest boards in cricket by miles, like by such a huge margin. I think that investment needs to come back into cricket in terms of fan viewership. And for me, the biggest thing is, like, for me, just as a viewer, I think we have to look at how we can broadcast better, how we can bring in better quality of broadcasting. I'm not saying what we have right now is not good, but in terms of, let's say, like the showcase or the way they broadcast the entire, like, any ICC event. Or I was watching, for example, when we were watching the BGT just 6 months ago, I really could see a big difference in the way it was broadcasted to us. Like, bro, they have so many different angles. For example, bro, if you remember, like the BGT, they had so many different angles for one shot. They had something like a 360-degree view shot. I remember of the KL. We were literally talking about how you
Correct.
can
Kerala wicket, yeah.
view. And like as a broadcast, as a viewer, I felt like I was literally watching the game in a better angle. I feel like I had better information. And bro, this is the quality, like it's high definition. And I think we do get it in India, but the viewing experience of any tour, let's say the way BCCI, I mean, the way Australian cricket does it, example, I think they're the best standard for anyone to copy, or like, take that as a standard and try to match it. Even the England cricket board, like I think they have Sky Sports, if I'm not wrong, but the
Yeah.
way they broadcast it, I think it's a huge quality gap between us versus the other countries. And at least for me personally, just not broadcasting, but also I think it's become a huge topic of conversation, including the punditry and including the commentary team. Like, you look at the commentary team of, like, again in the BGT, you had guys like Gilchrist coming, bro. Gilchrist, Hayden, yeah, Michael Clark coming and commenting at that point of time. It's like one of the legends coming and talking about the game. You as a viewer want to listen to it. I was literally learning so much when Gilchrist was talking about, like, cricket. Even the world WTC, when they were talking, but I could get to know so much. Like, you had Kevin Peterson talking that time. You had DK. You had guys who are actually cricketers, who have been successful cricketers, talking about the sport. And bro, the information you get, the analysis you get, it's a huge difference. And I think even recently Rohit Sharma spoke about that in an interview he gave, like a couple of last month. He told the difference between, he pointed out the difference between, like, for example, how Australia do the commentary, do the punditry, versus the way we do it. I think, unfortunately, we do more of, like, a bit of, we add that masala on top of cricket. Like, I think for us fans, if we were talking more about the actual aspect of cricket, information about cricket, the viewing experience will be much better for me. And I don't know how you feel about the, like, punditry, but me personally, I do feel like India can improve so much in this aspect, especially, like, especially when we are the richest, boards in the world.
No, that's true. That's true. I mean, I too felt it. Or almost whenever there's a big series coming, we can almost predict, or when the lineups of the commentary team is like, which has been happening of late, there's an immediate message on our group. We're always like, oh no, this is not going to be fine. Like, we'll have a certain couple of names. And it's not just basic stigma, because we know what is going to be delivered. And it's almost like we know, okay, like, you know what, when this commentator comes, it's going to be this, that, like, pleasing to the ear, etc., going to be talking a lot of unnecessary things, when you could really be narrowing down on the game. So yeah, that completely makes sense. And yeah, with the kind of money that we have, definitely our broadcasting is very, very ordinary, I should say. And for me, the next one, which I could improve, like, which I could see improvement, and as somebody who occasionally goes for games, is the stadium experience. Like, bro, I go to a stadium, it's very basic. Like, the way the kind of entry that we have, the kind of seating that we have, the kind of facilities that we have, it's very bad. If I want to go to
Mm.
a washroom, it's a compromise. Like, I have to weigh in key, okay, do I really have to go to the washroom? Because I'm
That's
gonna have to
true.
put myself through a lot if I have to go to the washroom, because there is no proper queue. There are no proper queues, first of all. I mean, of course, it comes to a lot of civic sense, which I understand. There's only so much that the stadium can be cleaned. Like, people should have that knowledge key, okay, littering is not this, that, and all, but a lot of it can be taken care of if you do regular cleaning, if you just take care of what it is. And when you look at venues abroad, like, it's not like we don't know what is happening anymore. Like, we live in a world where we know exactly what is happening in XYZ stadium in XYZ country. Like, when these countries who are earning a margin of what we are earning, if they can do so much to keep their stadiums clean and upgrade their stadiums, they look like world class establishments. When you're like, when you just see the videos of the walkthroughs, what, like, how the basic experience of me going to a stadium. Like, I just happened to go for one of the IPL games where the the ticket was slightly on the more expensive side, and I went to a game where it was the absolute basic, and I happened to go for the Bangalore test for the India New Zealand. There was a world of difference. And when I'm paying the premium price, I know, okay, the facilities that the amenities that I get is going to be top class as compared to what I would be for a, let's say, a very basic ticket. But even then, I know for a fact, if I am to pay the equivalent of this at a game in Australia, I know the amenities are going to be so much more. I know the quality of the amenities that I get. It's not just the
Yeah.
amenities. Like, how much better the same amenities would be is going to be so much higher. So I feel this is something that it won't even, like, take much. Like, it's a one time. I know it's a high investment, but it's a one time investment, and then you just have to maintain it. It's not going to be that far fetched for BCCI, who earns this much of a revenue, for them to be putting. And yeah, that is one from my end. Adi, do you have more
Yep.
suggestions?
Yeah, I mean, I actually touching on the stadium, bro. I think it's true, bro. It's just not even like I think we have to look at stadiums in terms of I think let's say Austria are the benchmark, England are the benchmark, bro. Just look at Lords, bro. It's like a thing of beauty, bro. Like look at the bro. They have a very old, their old building, traditional building at one side, which is very old. It has its tradition and has its iconic looks. Literally opposite to it, it has like the most modern looking commentary box you'll ever see. Like, and overall, you look at that, look at it, you're gonna say, okay, that's a beautiful ground. Like playing cricket here is like literally a privilege to come and play there. Not gonna lie, like we India does have great, let's say, pitches in terms of like the ground pitches, the way you can play cricket
Iconic
on it. Pitch
tracks, cricket
exactly like
tracks. Yeah.
yeah, but you look on top of it, look at the people, look at the seating arrangement. I think we are lacking way behind in terms of the infrastructure we can build compared to the likes of England, the likes of Australia, bro. Just look at an MCG. They're huge, but
Bro,
they're so beautiful.
like
Like
if it starts raining in Australia, the grounds, some of them, they have retractable rooftops. I
exactly,
know for a fact if it starts raining in Chinnaswamy Stadium, like it doesn't matter if I'm sitting under the roof or if I'm sitting in open space, I'm gonna get wet even like
drenched. Yeah,
regardless.
bro, that's true.
It
I
like
get it. I get that, bro. And like, bro, even like the thing is like India, unfortunately for me, I don't think we have that iconic stadium. Like we can tell Eden Gardens, we can tell something like I would say Chinnaswamy and Wankade. I think these three are at least if I have to talk about like you can call them iconic stadiums overall. But I think apart from that, when you look at them as grounds, I think we can build in such a way that it's going to look beautiful. Like coming to play there. Like look, as I said, MCG just looks so good. I think we have a great stadium in Ahmedabad. I think that's the only we can say a world class stadium India has. But India has 28 states. You have another 10 states where Indian cricket team come and play. Like we can improve so much. Like I think only other stadium I would sit and say like is very iconic or has its own value is Dharamshala. Like, bro, the aesthetics going there, playing behind the mountains, the Himalayan ranges, like it has some value to it. And like, I think any team coming there and playing, let's say touring and coming to play there, it's something iconic. It has its own value. But apart from that, I don't think any other ground has its thing. Like, let's say even infrastructure wise, I think we can improve so much. So I think, yeah, that's true. Like when you say about it, we can improve so much more than, especially with the money we have. Like, bro, come on, 2 billion, we're worth around $2 billion right now. We can easily build five good, like crazily good, futuristic stadiums. I think that's not that tough. But yeah, apart from that, I think one more thing along the same lines is for me, at least personally, the technology, bro. Like
Hmm.
again, just recently going back to the IPL, I know they got something like a no ball technology, which for me as a viewer is very frustrating because it doesn't look very accurate in my eyes. When I look at it, I always can say, okay, I don't think this is accurate enough. But apart from that, if I talk about technology, like I just look back, bro. Like I know for a fact, like the Australians, like they created the bales that glow right now. Like you look at each bales that glow, it's a creation of from Australia. Like you look at Hawkeye, you look at Snicko, it was created by the British. Like the Britishers were the one who invested in that technology and created that technology. Where you have something like Snicko, it came from Britain. Hawkeye came from Britain. Now it's used around the world, but the real, you know, thing came from somewhere outside. For me, it's like, why can't we have the money? Why can't we build an R&D where we can invest money into building technology where Indian are the pioneers in technology in cricket. Like there are so many other things I think which is unexplored in cricket because I think cricket is one area which uses the least amount of technology overall. And you need because now you have things like the no ball coming in. You have like height. Even the estimation of height. I don't know what happened to hotspot. I think that was a very very good
Hmm.
technology where you could use to like perfectly understand, okay, is there an edge or not, because it used to give you a spot. And the point is we are never here creating this technology. We're here just using technology which is created by others. I would love to see India creating their own technology where someone else is coming and using it. I personally don't know where, to be fair, but I'm sure if you get the right investments in place, we can create something new. Because, like, bro, we Indians are always pioneers. Also, like, we have so many smart people there. I think we just need the right technology investment in this research aspect, and I think we can build technology which will not only help, like, let's say, Indian cricket team, but you can also sell this technology to other aspects and make money out of it. Like, it's another avenue where you're gaining money through selling this technology to, let's say, Australia will want to use it next time. Let's say England will want to use this technology next time. They're going to come and pay us because we created this technology. I think that's one more thing we can do. And along the lines of technology and stadium, bro, one more thing is I would like to touch upon is the water heating system we talk about in your cricket stadiums, which is not, me surprisingly, it is not a matter of fact that it's standardized all over India. Because I know Chinnaswamy has that thing where you have that
The drainage system,
yeah, the
underground drainage system.
system where you can, it takes the water out, it heats the grass and keeps it warm and nice. But I think it was I think it was the start of this year or around last year. No, it was last year before the India New Zealand Test series, where Afghanistan and New Zealand had to play. If I'm not wrong, I can't remember.
Mhm.
And I don't remember which stadium, but it was a stadium that they were allotted in India, and it was completely washed out within day two or day three because they knew they couldn't. It was literally flooded. It was like a water clock there. It was literally a swimming pool, and
Right, right, right.
yeah, and Afghanistan, first of all, don't have that ability to play a lot of test matches. And they couldn't play the test matches just for the fact that they didn't have a basic water drainage system. Bro, which under, we're in 2025. I
If
think
I'm
this is,
not wrong, that happened in Noida. I think
yeah,
Noida was there
I think it was
allotted.
somewhere
Yeah.
in Noida. And not only Noida, bro, I remember even in IPL, I think it was Eden Gardens where KKR and Punjab played. The game got abandoned because the pitch was just too wet. Like, that's the
Hmm.
point. Like, you look at the big stadiums in India, I don't think every stadium has a water heating system or water drainage system. And bro, in 2020, we're in 2025 where you can do that with ease if you're funded well. And again, coming back to it, I think already cricket is so dicey when it comes to rain, because if it rains, you're very on the edge. Okay, if it stops raining, if you want to play a limited over game or a reduced over game, the pitch needs to be perfect for us to play. Now, if you have water clogs or if you have, like, big drains of water everywhere, like, you're not going to play the game. And I think Chinnaswamy is a very good example there, where, like, if you have a good drainage system, you can have at least a 10 over game. And that's what happened against Punjab this year, if you remember. We had a good training
Hmm.
system where we could take out the water quickly and we could play. And for me, I think India doesn't just have that enough. And yeah, I don't know about how you feel about it, but yeah, I think that's one more thing. But yeah, bro, I think if you have any other things to touch upon in terms of, like, any
Bro,
other
right,
suggestions, sporting
right
wise,
when,
like, do you feel like as a fan, sporting wise, we can move forward or something like that?
bro, like, yeah, one thing for sure is like, like improving the state of our domestic cricket at a both senior level and at youth level, when it comes to whether be it the incentivizing domestic cricketers, incentivizing the Ranji cricketers, or be it that you send them abroad, in the sense, like, if you want to send them on more of a tours, or these teams to say England, Australia, South Africa, New Zealand, so that by the time these guys are actually knocking at the doors of the first team, they've already had 1 2 tours under their belt in the places where they know the conditions. And that makes a lot of difference, because you've had famous ex cricketers come out and say that these different conditions take time to get adapted to. That's why, like, back in the day, cricketers used to have 1.5 months before the, like, at the place before the actual tours began, so that they get
Yeah,
accustomed. Now
yeah,
imagine Australia or England or South Africa, when they come to India, or of course when they just go, let's say South Africa goes to England, they don't know, or they have to get used to the conditions that they have, like, the English conditions. But at the same time, imagine India sends a contingent of players who are so well versed with the conditions that they know what it is like when you're going there itself. it's like giving them a 1 month, 2 month head start. Now you compound them the same thing over years. That is going to make a huge difference. Like we're going to be in an entirely other level to compete with. Like we're going to be talking about decades of domination if that happens. Like whether be it at home, we're not going to be home track bullies anymore. We're going to be we're going to be a team that is dominating every stadium, every ground that we go to. And for that, we're going to have to, of course, like somewhere we're going to have to start. So we can't say that, okay, we have players right now who are knocking at the door, so send them. No, it is going to be a long term process. So send the teams, like send the players who we feel are going to be there 3-4 years ahead, because they don't need the, ultimate royal treatment that our current, like, like the main team players get. Like very good systems, very good accommodation, very good, like, food and everything taken care of. That is more than enough, and that is not going to be very expensive for us. And at the same time, when it comes to domestic cricket, like like channel more funds into sustainable ways where domestic cricket is incentivized, red ball is incentivized. Because we are seeing a very stark difference when it comes to white ball cricket and red ball cricket. Like I feel the specialists that we have in red ball cricket are slowly dying. It's a very rare breed at this point.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, we're having, for every white ball role, we have 10, 11, 12 players who can come in and, fill that slot. So for that, we need like short term fixes, and we need something that is going to be sustainable. So we have the money for it, we have the resources, we have the cricketing brains also. Now is a time where Indian cricket has so many experts, so many ex players. It's not like we have to outsource it either. So I feel addressing the domestic cricket for both, like, at India and sending them abroad, it can be something that can be done. What do you think, Adi?
Yeah, bro, I agree. I think, dude, that's the thing. I feel like based just watching this IPL recently, I think we had a lot of youngsters coming in, like, you had your Surya Vanshis, Priyansh, Aryas, and all of them, you look at the way they play cricket, I think they're pure T20 players who are coming here to just blast the ball from ball one.
Hmm.
Do I think these guys can play Test cricket? Maybe they have the technical levels to do it, but you look at the mindset, they're in that mindset is of, okay, we're coming to play cricket to, just score runs and dominate T20, etc. So I think like India is moving towards high quality T20 players, like they're able to produce high quality T20 players. But if I say the same Priyansh Arya was able to, let's say, hit a Pat Cummins for, 2-3 sixes in a over, like as in IPL. But you put the same Priyansh Arya in a test match, I don't think he's going to do the same thing. You know what I mean? I think he would struggle, for example. So I think
Exactly.
we're creating high quality players, but because of the importance of IPL, it's going towards the white ball cricket, it's going towards test cricket. And maybe we won't see the effects today because we have good talent like Jaiswal, like Gill, who are playing right now. But for example, tomorrow we need a guy to replace KL Rahul. You don't have any youngster coming in to say, okay, knocking on the door, let's say, like, you don't have any youngster knocking on the door saying, okay, I can come and replace KL Rahul tomorrow if we need it. Or
Right.
is there any other young guy who can come as a number three if Sai Sudarshan doesn't work out? Just for an example, I don't think there's another guy we can point out and say, to put pressure on these guys and keep them on their toes. Like, even
Right.
whatever it is, like Jaiswal is still young. If you have another young player coming and keeping you on your toes, you are going to get the best out of Jaiswal also. I think that's also important. In
True.
the T20, I think you have like a lot of players. You have Abhishek Sharma. You have like four openers. You can just, it's going
That's
to be
what
like a
T20. It's not going to be a problem at all. It's the red ball that's concerning.
Yeah, bro, and I think it is. I think BCCI should be the highest responsibility in terms of inculcating that no matter what, because at least cricket really believes red ball cricket is the highest form of cricket. Even Virat just spoke,
Mm.
after he won an IPL for the first time after 18 years, he still told this feeling doesn't matter. Like, I would put Test cricket 5 times ahead of this all day
Yeah.
long. So
Yeah.
that shows like how big he values Test cricket. And if one of the best players of your modern era cricketers are saying Test cricket is the toughest, and that's where you build your name, create your name. I think it's true, bro. Like, even we respect guys like Steve Smith, Kane Williamson, Joe Root, who are not explosive T20 players, but we respect them because of their Test credentials. And I think India should just focus on that more and create at least put that nature of inculcating the nature into the youngsters. Like red ball still comes first, no matter how many runs you score in a T20 game or an IPL game. If you're not able to score in a test match, I think you have to play well in test match to be the mainstay in Indian cricket. I think
Mm.
that's a very good point. And yeah, bro. Apart from this, maybe, bro, just the side note, bro. I think something like, again, me watching through IPL. I think I can say watching IPL and watching WTC final, I was able to watch a player walk in a WTC final. When a wicket fell, I literally saw the guy leaving the middle of the pitch, going till the boundary, and I was literally able to watch the next guy come in, for example, to bat. That shows that there was not really any advertisement breaks as I saw in IPL. Bro,
Mm.
I'm sorry to say, like, before IPL breaks, advertisements were fun. Like, there was something like a Vodafone IPL ad which we had a long
The
time back.
Hutch, yeah, Vodafone,
Yeah, which you
Zuzus.
would actually try to enjoy and guess like what can happen next because it was like a story.
Yeah.
But bro, this 2025, just recently the IPL advert I was hearing, the My 11 Circle, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Like that literally was like an alarm
Mm.
clock in my head, bro. Like I used to wake up to listen to that, like it's that song beating in my head. That it became so often you used to listen to it because of the amount of advertisements were just broadcasted, in a cricket match. I was just say, bro, I hope like they reduce these adverts if it comes down to it. But yeah,
No, no, I agree because when advertising at all levels, because of course, creative advertising is one thing, but then surrogate advertising is one more, which I feel is very smart.
oh,
It's
true.
very smart what they do, but again, a lot of cricketers have taken up stances against it. But
Yeah.
yeah, like
Even
everyone knows
even the
what.
top cricketers, right? Like I think Sachin
Yeah,
and all were like big time
yeah.
against.
Like again, they like we know exactly what are the products which they intend to sell, but of course they are being very clever about it. But it's up to BCCI as an organization to take a stance, because you are
Yeah.
ultimately promoting their intended product itself. So if that is how you want to make your money, so be it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just more about about a supposed non-profit organization wanting to
Yeah.
make money. So yeah, that's pretty much it from us. We could point out maybe 5 6 suggestions, but I know there are probably 10 20 more that can be very much implemented. So please mention in the comments what you guys feel are valuable suggestions which we could really like implement as of today, and have a very very quick and sustainable change for cricket. So keep watching, guys. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll be back soon with more videos.